And I'm a reader in Stories on the Hill at Denison University, and for Valentine's Day, I'm going to be reading a poem that's not exactly a love poem, but in a way, it's a love poem to inspiration for creation, or a symbol of inspiration. And inspiration and a passion for creativity is kind of a love itself. So here is To a Skylark by Percy Shelley. Hail to thee, blithe spirit, bird thou never wert, that from heaven or near it pourest thy full heart in profuse strains of unpremeditated art. Higher still and higher from the earth thou springest, like a cloud of fire, the blue deep thou wingest. In singing still dost soar, and soaring ever singest. In the golden lightning of the sunken sun, o'er which clouds art brightening, thou dost float and run, like an unbodied joy whose race is just begun. The pale purple even melts around thy flight, like a star of heaven in the broad daylight. Thou art unseen, but yet I hear thy shrill delight. Keen as are the arrows of that silver spear, whose intense lamp narrows in the white dawn clear, until we hardly see, we feel that it is there. All the earth and air with thy voice is loud, as, when the night is bare, from one lonely cloud, the moon rains out her beams, and heaven is overflowed. What thou art we know not. What is most like thee? From rainbow clouds there flow not drops so bright to see, as from thy presence showers a rain of melody. Like a poet hidden in the light of thought, singing hymns unbidden, till the world is wrought to sympathy with hopes and fears it heeded not, like a high-born maiden in a palace tower, soothing her love-laden soul in secret hour with music sweet as love which overflows her bower, like a glowworm golden in a dell of dew, scattering unbeholden its aerial hue among the flowers and grass which screen it from the view. Like a rose embowered by its own green leaves, by warm winds deflowered, till the scent it gives makes faint with too much heat these heavy-winged thieves. Sound of vernal showers on the twinkling grass, rain-awakened flowers, all that ever was, joyous and clear and fresh, thy music doth surpass. Teach us, sprite or bird, what sweet thoughts are thine. I have never heard praise of love or wine that painted forth a flood of rapture so divine. Chorus, hymeneal, or triumphant chaunt, matched with thine would be all but an empty vaunt, a thing wherein we feel there is some hidden want. What objects are the fountains of thy happy strain? What fields or waves or mountains? What shapes of sky or plain? What love of thine own kind? What ignorance of pain? With thy clear, keen joyance, languor cannot be. Shadow of annoyance never came near thee. Thou lovest, but never knew love's sad satiety. Waking or asleep, thou of death must deem things more true and deep than we mortals dream. Or how could thy notes flow in such a crystal stream? We look before and after, and pine for what is not. Our sincerest laughter with some pain is fraught. Our sweetest songs are those that tell of saddest thought. Yet if we could scorn, hate, and pride and fear, if we were things born not to shed a tear, I know not how thy joy we ever should come near. Better than all measures of delightful sound, better than all treasures that in books are found, thy skill to poet were, thou scorner of the ground. Teach me half the gladness thy brain must know. Such harmonious madness from my lips would flow. The world should listen, then, as I am listening now. Thank you. Hi, I will also be reading some of the love poems of Emile Verhaeren, translated by F.S. Flint. Oh, the splendor of our joy, woven of gold in the silken air. Here was our pleasant house and its airy gables, and the garden in the orchard. Here is the bench beneath the apple trees, whence the white spring is shed in slow caressing petals. Here flights of luminous wood pigeons, like harbingers, soar in the clear sky of the countryside. Here, kisses fallen upon the earth from the mouth of the frail azure, are two blue ponds, simple and pure, artlessly bordered with involuntary flowers. Oh, the splendor of our joy and of ourselves in this garden where we live upon our emblems. Although we saw this bright garden, wherein we passed silently, flower before our eyes, it is rather in us that grows the pleasantest and fairest garden in the world. For we live all the flowers, all the plants, and all the grasses in our laughter and our tears of pure and calm happiness. For we live all the transparencies of the blue ponds that reflects the rich growths of the golden roses and the great vermilion lilies, sunlips, and mouths. For we live all joy, thrown out in the cries of festival and spring of our avowals, wherein heartfelt and uplifting words sing side by side. Oh, is it not indeed in us that grows the pleasantest and gladdest garden in the world? This barbaric capital, whereon monsters writhe, soldered together by the might of claw and tooth, in a mad whirl of blood, of fiery cries, of wounds, and of jaws that bite and bite again. This was myself before you were mine, you who are new and old, and who, from the depths of your eternity, came to me with passion and kindness in your hands. I feel the same deep, deep thing sleeping in you as me, and our thirst for remembrance drink up the echo in which our paths answer each to each. Our eyes must have wept at the same hours, without our knowing, during childhood, have had the same terrors, the same happinesses, the same flashes of trust. For I am bound to you by the unknown that watched me of old down the avenues through which my adventurous life passed, and, indeed, if I had looked more closely, I might have seen long ago, within its eyes, your own eyes open. The sky is unfolded into night, and the moon seems to watch over the sleeping silence. All is so pure and clear, all is so pure and so pale in the air and on the lakes of the friendly countryside, that there is anguish in the fall from a reed of a drop of water, that tinkles and then is silent in the water. But I have your hands between mine, and your steadfast eyes that hold me so gently with their earnestness. I feel that you are so much at peace with everything, that nothing, not even a fleeting suspicion of fear, will overcast, be it but for a moment, the holy trust that sleeps in us as an infant rests. Each hour I brood upon your goodness, so simple in its depth, I lose myself in prayers to you. I came so late toward the gentleness of your eyes, and from so far towards your two hands stretched out quietly over the wide spaces. I had in me so much stubborn rust that gnawed my confidence with its ravenous teeth. I was so heavy, was so tired, was so old with misgiving. I was so heavy, I was so tired of the vain road of all my footsteps. I deserve so little the wondrous joy of seeing your feet illuminate my path that I am still trembling and almost in tears, and humble forever and ever before my happiness. Sometimes you are the kindly grace of the garden in that early morning that, quiet and winding, unfolds in the blue distances its pleasant paths curved like the necks of swans. And at other times you are for me the bright thrill of the swift, exulting wind that passes with its lightning fingers through the watery mane of the white pond. At the good touch of your two hands, I feel as though leaves were caressing me lightly, and when midday burns the garden, the shadows at once gather up the dear words which your being trembled. Thus, thanks to you, each moment seems to pass in me divinely. So at the hour of wan night, when you hide within yourself, shutting your eyes, you feel my gentle, devout gaze, humbler and longer than a prayer. Thank yours beneath your closed eyelids. Finally, I would like to read the love sonnet from Romeo and Juliet. Kind of awkward because I'm just one person, and this is a duet between Romeo and Juliet. Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare, in case you are unfamiliar. If I profane with my unworthiest hand this holy shrine, the gentle sin is this: my lips, two blushing pilgrims, ready stand to smooth that rough touch with a tender kiss. Good pilgrim, you do wrong your hand too much, which mannerly devotion shows in this: for saints have hands that pilgrims' hands do touch, and palm to palm is holy palmer's kiss. Have not saints lips, and holy palmers too? Ay, pilgrim, lips that they must use in prayer. Oh, then, dear saint, let lips do what hands do. They pray, grant thou, lest faith turn to despair. Saints do not move, though grant for prayers' sake. Then move not while my prayer's effect I take. For the context of that scene, Romeo is flirting with Juliet and trying to get permission to kiss her or get her to kiss him, and Juliet is teasing, like, no, we can't do that, that's not, you're comparing like this to like a holy person praying, but like, no, they have to like pray, and she's like being playful with it. And then they kiss at the end. And a lot of stuff happens. Pretty crazy play.